Okay, so welcome. I always like to start with something from Alice in Wonderland, which you should know here. Lewis Carroll was a mathematician, so he wrote Alice in Wonderland. It has a bunch of math in it. But where shall I begin? Asked Alice. Begin at the beginning, the king said gravely, and go on till you come to the end, then stop. So we're starting now our class for statistics. This half of the year will be on statistics. The second half of the year will be on probability. So statistics gets no respect is the first thing, and there's a lot of reasons for that. People say things like you can prove anything with statistics, or it's just a statistical trick. So things, because of this all came from the news, the government, cosmetic companies are the biggest kind of, you can prove anything with statistics or a statistical trick. They're telling you, buy this lipstick, buy this mascara, this many people like it. Not everyone wears makeup. We're only talking about really mostly women and some men. So the amount of people that are wearing this is really not anything helpful. But we do need statistics when they're done correctly to help us make really important decisions. So what is statistics? So the definition here is a way of reasoning, a collection of methods, I guess, or we can have or here, or a collection of methods to help us understand the world. You collect data, which we're going to get to, and we use this reasoning method of statistics to understand what's going on around us. So what are statistics? So these are the actual things. These are the calculations made from data. And you already know some of these things, the mean, the median, and the mode. Those are all statistics. So those are the calculations that we're talking about. And then collection of data. And data is actually a plural. And the singular is datum. So a datum is just a singular one. And data is when you have more than one. So if I'm collecting data, I've got to use the whole class. If I'm just using something from myself, I'm a datum. Okay? All of these things, all of these places collect data from you. Facebook, Target, texting, Google. Facebook especially, I'm sure that you've seen all of the ads that pop up once you're clicking on something. Target, any type of store is collecting data on what you buy from them and then asking you to buy it again all the time. Amazon is a huge one. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it on there. Through your text, anything, if you've got Siri on, they can kind of see anything that's going on for you. So, are you a statistic? So, the ad says don't drink and drive. You don't want to be a statistic, but you can't be a statistic. We say don't be a datum. So, just a joke here. And if you hear that slight crying, that is my baby. Shh, honey, it's okay. So Amazon is a huge one that we're going to talk about. They opened in July of 1995. The Earth's biggest bookstore. How did Amazon become so successful, and how can it keep track of so many customers that have such a wide variety of products? And it's just tracking you. Everything you buy is being tracked. And then they're changing their ways. Change the home page and buying options based on this. So based on what you're giving them as data. And they say data is king at Amazon. Clickstream and purchase data are the crown jewels at Amazon. They help us build features to personalize the website experience. So they're using it for the better to help you as the buyer have more success and also buy more things from you. Amazon started in someone's garage or part of in their house, and while they started as a bookstore, they now sell everything. So they've become successful by tracking everything that you're buying and collecting all of this data. The important part of this is always these W's. So we're going to start with the who. So who is buying it? So here we're talking about the who. What's being collected or from here. So who from? Is it, what are we talking about? Like, what's the data? Is it cows? Is it babies? Is it people? Is it what you're buying? Okay, so the sample is the smaller part. So here is a small portion of the population, and we're going to get to what population is. But like this class, so class is sample of senior class, and you could go even bigger than that. Your senior class is a sample of the school, so it's a smaller portion that represents the population, and the population is the whole, all of the study. So it depends on who you're talking about. Obviously, the population of Kearsarge, we'd have to include every single kid in the school, or if you're talking about all of the people in the district. So this would be whole school if we're talking about a survey that involves that, the whole school. Identifying who the who is. So this first example, in February of 2014, ConsumerReports.org published an evaluation of 135 tablets from a variety of manufacturers. Describe the population of interest, the sample, and the who of the study. So we want to know all of these things. So we want to know the general population, the sample, and the who. So who are we talking about? So the consumer reports here, or who's collecting here, would be the website. So the consumer reports is collecting it. The sample is the 135 tablets, and I know I'm going backwards here. And this is all tablets from every manufacturer. So all of the ones, they only took 135, so that's the sample they chose. And all the tablets from the manufacturer would be the population they're talking about. The who is who's collecting it there on the consumer, and that would be the consumerreports.org. Let's try another one. So J.D. Power and Associates here surveys customers to learn about the buyer behavior and customer satisfaction for many products worldwide. J.D. Power automotive performance, execution, and layout. So they call it appeal. Studies, what people like about their cars, performance, and design. J.D. Power based a 2013 appeal report on responses from over 83,000 people who had recently purchased. new or leased cars. So the population that they're talking about here is all people who've bought cars. All people with cars from them. The sample was this 83,000 people who had recently purchased cars. And the WHO is J.D. Power. They're the ones that are collecting this data. The WHO, here the J.D. Power, we could even say it's the appeal report, okay, to be exact, is who is looking at this. So we've got all of those. And last we've got what and why. I know this is long, so stick with me, but we've got these variables that we need to talk about, and these are all of the things that could essentially happen. So the variables, and we've got two different kinds, but this is what you're talking about collecting. So the variables here will be, oops. And how it's being collected. So the different things that you would be asking them, and there's two different ones that you could have. You could either have qualitative or quantitative. So qualitative are going to be non-numbers or non-numeric. So we're talking about eye color, race, gender, all things that can be collected, your favorite color, that can be collected without having a numeric value. And these are numeric data here, or variables. And these are going to be things like age, height, weight, if we want to be daring, or number of sports that you play, anything like that. So those are the two different types. Hopefully you recognize those words. I'm sure that you've seen them before. Okay, so the Consumer Reports article about the tablets again, it lists each tablet's manufacturer, cost, battery life in hours, operating system, and overall performance score. Are these variables categorical, which just means here, this just means qualitative, it's just another word for it. Include the units where appropriate, and describe why, the why of this investigation. So the why is really just, why are we doing this? Why we do this? Why are they collecting this data? So the what is going to be those variables. So that's going to be all the things that they collected.
Sean Anderson, could you please come to the front office?
Manufacturer costs, battery life, the operating system, and performance. Okay, some of these are quantitative and some of them are qualitative. So the manufacturer, for example, okay, this is going to be qualitative. The operating system, qualitative, that's a different type. Whereas the cost is going to be quantitative. The battery life, quantitative, how many hours it says. Battery life in hours, performance score 0 to 100. This is going to be quantitative. So this is all using your brain essentially. And then why are they doing this? I think they just want to know what's better. What tablets are better for consumers? They just want to know what's going on with that, okay? So all these questions are going to need to be asked in the in or answered in your formative.